Do you remember swatches? Those watches that came out, and they were like super popular. I think in the early '90s, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the late '80s. Can't remember. And then there were the little swatch guards. You remember that? Little guard that went on top. You could get whatever color you wanted. So that's what swatches would have brought to mind for kids of late '80s, early '90s. But if you were a decorator, or picking out rugs, or a couch or something, what would a swatch mean to you? Well, a color swatch, it's a sample of that color or texture. So, I am going to take you to the color palette and show you the swatches. So let's go into View and Organize. And just so you know, my coffee is officially gone and empty, and I'm wanting more. Yes, more. I know. See? Because I'm on this no meat kick for the next, it's a 40-day thing. It's not Lent, though. And it's almost done with the no alcohol for 6 months. I got 20 more days of that. So the only thing I can really have that's absolutely wonderful to crave is still coffee. Oh, and I'm not going out to eat for like 30 days. So I got like 24 more days of that. Anyway, it's all about self-denial lately. Feels good, though. All right. More information than you needed. All right. You know what? We could have gone into the editor directly. So let's go to standard edit mode. Yeah. So I think I'm going to get a Starbucks coffee because I just had a Caffeino coffee, and even though it was their strong blend, it wasn't truly. You know, the Starbucks is like, I'm strong, I'm dark. Come on, can you handle me? It's kind of like that. But anyway. All right, we are in the standard editor. Okay, let's create a new document. It keeps the defaults, keeps what you had previously put in here. So remember, I put these fields in here before: width 9 by 9, 272 pixels. Okay. So just click OK, because we're not going to really do anything much on the screen here. But the whole point of this lesson is to show you the color swatches. So go to color swatches, that palette, and expand it. If it's not over here, remember you can always go to Window and click it, and it'll show up here in the palettes. So this will show you what we have selected, or that are open. Yeah. You notice how color swatches, styles and effects, and layers are open or expanded, and they're shown here. Anyway, color swatches, make sure that's selected, and then expand it here. And we can pull this down so you see the whole thing. So this is useful. I mean, yes, you can go over here and choose any part of this. That's one way of picking out the color. It's true. But this just kind of gives you a nice painter's palette of color, and lets you see it all with your eyes at once. It's kind of nice. So you could pick out any color you want from here, and then if you wanted to modify it, see, and make it darker, lighter, brighter, whatever you want. So this is advantageous. There's also these other sets of color. You can photo filters, color, web hues. This is giving you a lot more shades of each color. Web save colors. Web spectrum, Windows, and default. Let's go back. So you can experiment through there. Excuse me. If you go up here to more, it gives you a bunch of options. Right now we're looking at small thumbnails. Oh, you can't see this. Let me take this palette and move it over so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now if you hit more, there's a lot of options you have here. Right now we're looking at small thumbnails. We can look at large thumbnails, which is gigantic. I wouldn't use that personally. There's small list and large list. See? It gives you some nice shades of each color. Kind of like that. And large list, it's just the same list basically, except they're larger swatches. And you can go to load swatches if you had saved any swatches from the web or anything. But all of these are already in here, if you remember. Photo filters, web spectrum, all these. But if you had a new one that you wanted to add in, a different spectrum of colors, that's where you'd load it from. So it's just the view that you prefer. Small thumbnails is probably what I'd choose, or small list, one or the other. Yeah. There we go. I just put it back in the palette bin. Alright, so there's your little overview of swatches. It's just another way to pick out a color. So just want to make sure you have all your options open, alright? So take it easy.